us a bit about Fit by July. What inspired you to open your own studio space, and how would you describe the difference between Fit by July and one of those big, massive chain gyms?
So we opened up Fit by July because I got tired of. I was actually at a big box gym, and at big box gyms, it's just like really all about the numbers, and like people aren't really concerned about the individual. And sometimes you may be intimidated by the typical health club setting.
Mm-hmm.
So what we wanted to do is create an environment that is going to break all those rules and have it be a situation where you come into a place that doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how you feel right now. We want to try to make it the better part of your day.
You have so many examples. You have like a screen reel that is showing before and after pictures,
Hmm.
and you've really transformed so many lives. I mean, again, it takes that first commitment to start to say, I need to make a change, I need to go. But you personally follow people on this journey. You do one on one training. And even if you have, like, at any given moment, there's really never more than like five, six people in the gym. Sometimes there's more when you do like a group
Hmm.
session, but you're attentive to everybody. So, again, people, I've seen it personally in their 70s and 80s that are lifting, and you're there to spot them and you're watching them, and they can do it.
Yep.
There's no intimidation factor, and there's such visible results, and people who start with you stick with you for
Yes.
sure, so they see that difference as
Yes.
well.
So one of the things that I was actually just thinking about it this weekend is by today's date in 2022, today is what, January 31st. 80% of all New Year's resolutions have already been abandoned by today.
That's why I actually had you on, because I knew if I had you on earlier in the year, everybody was like, oh, people it was going to resonate with them.
Hmm.
But I bet you by now, I was just saying that on the morning show.
Oh, are
I
you?
didn't know the stat on that, but
Hmm.
I said so many New Year's resolutions must have already fallen by the wayside,
Yeah.
with today being the last day of January. So I thought this was a great opportunity. If you're one of those people, well, here's the guy. So
Well,
we're
we
going to
think
fix
alike.
that.
We think alike. So a lot of times people come in to our facility and they'll say, "I've never done this. I've never done that." Well, it's probably just a situation where they've never had someone hold them accountable to the results that they were looking to accomplish. Like I said, when I was working at a big box, I won't say the name of it, but when I was working at the big box gym, it was just all about pushing numbers. How many sessions can you get someone to buy this month, and it wasn't about you know having the person show up to those sessions. So someone could buy a 20 session pack and it takes them a year to use those sessions. Well,
Right. Well, they could buy it. They're buying it and not using it.
they're
And
buying
what's
it
the
and
point
not
of
using
buying
it.
it?
So
Exactly.
with our facility, it's hard to get people to stay consistent, but in our system we try our best to hold you accountable to being consistent, which is why we try to make the environment as fun as possible. Because if a place is fun, you'll want to be there.
I go for the music. I always say that. I go for the playlist. No, but it's very true. And then I guess everybody who's in there, they do become friendly
Yep.
because it's small. Everybody's working towards the same goal. Everybody's cursing you under their breath because it's
Hmm.
hard. So everybody is united by that. But no, it's a great atmosphere as well. So I want to talk about a couple of things today. Let's talk about the whole concept of muscle memory.
Yes.
How if you are consistently in shape through your life and do some type of consistent regimen, a fall can be life changing in later years. So you could be the most healthy, vibrant 75-year-old, which is young nowadays, it's
Hmm.
young. And then you can take a fall and look outside, all the snow and ice around us. I mean, it's just dangerous. Walking in and out of your car is dangerous. But a fall could be life changing because it could start this rapid decline of your overall health. But
Absolutely.
if you have this muscle memory and you have this muscle strength, talk about the difference of how these falls don't have to be a game changer.
Yep. So let's talk about the falls in general. So I typically believe that strength is a great equalizer, right? So if you're stronger, you'll have a little bit more balance. So if you were normally to slip, if you're stronger, your muscles will fire and catch you, hopefully a little bit better. The second part about having the muscle memory when it pertains to slips and falls is if you have more muscle protecting bones and vital organs, the chance of you getting very hurt diminishes the more muscle that you have.
And the muscle can the recovery is shorter. So if you have somebody who is active and does take a fall, that muscle is going to repair itself much quicker than somebody who does not. How does muscle memory, though, work and muscle strength overall? Muscles will atrophy over time. I mean, it's just a function of age.
Yep.
But are you really able to combat that by working out? I mean, I know you can't stop it, but can you delay it and slow it down? And
Absolutely. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the nutrition side of it as well, right? So I know we want to talk about nutrition. So the nutrition is going to help, right? So a lot of times I'll tell people, you make sure you get your protein in. It's typically 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're doing that, you'll probably be in a better position than if you're not.
Because you're feeding the muscle then through protein.
You're feeding the muscle, but not only the muscle, but actually there's studies that show that the more protein you take in, the thicker your calcium, the more the body holds on to calcium.
Okay, so that's kind of you don't always hear that connection with protein. You always hear about protein and muscle. So in terms of, at the end of the day, caloric intake is going to be such a game changer for weight loss. You can do all these things, but if you're not watching the calories, it's not going to really be so effective. What is the ideal, let's just say an average healthy, let's say 50-year-old individual, what's an ideal caloric intake look like every day? How many should we be getting?
So it typically depends on what the goal is, right? But if someone is just trying to maintain where they currently are, you're not looking to gain weight, you're not looking to lose weight. It's the general rule is 10 calories per pound of body weight. So if someone weighs 120 pounds, it's 1,200 calories.
Okay. Very interesting.
And now, depending on if your metabolism is a little bit faster, your body may utilize those calories a little bit quicker. You can increase that to 13 up to 15 for a woman, or 15 calories to 18 calories for a man per pound of body weight.
So 10 calories per pound of body weight. So that's an interesting formula. Now, as we age, is there a need to up our calories or reduce our calories? So to somebody now who's 70s and 80s, what should their nutritional goals be, just with respect right now to caloric intake? Do we need more or less?
The formula won't change.
So that formula, so somebody who's maybe a little more frail, a lightweight 100-pound female is still using that same formula.
Yeah, it's the same formula. What as someone gets older, the one thing that I would start to really try to hone in on is the amount of protein that someone takes in, because the protein is going to make sure that they can hold on to as much muscle as they can. And like you said earlier, the body atrophies, the muscle atrophies. So and it atrophies for a few reasons. One, we stop being as active as we probably were when we were younger, and two, we stop eating as much as we probably were when we were young, because we were more active when we were younger.
Yeah.
So those are kind of comes twofold. But if you can make sure that you're increasing the protein, at least we can make sure that the rate of decline with the muscle fibers is much slower than it normally would be.
So if you're just joining us on 1460 WVOX or on Facebook Live, we're talking to Dwayne July, the founder of Fit by July in Greenwich. And what we've been discussing are tips to really keep muscles strong and prevent the effects of aging and muscle atrophy, and how if you're on some type of steady workout regimen, and we'll get to what type of regimen you need, but there's so many benefits that can happen, and among them is muscle memory, easier muscle recovery in the event that there's surgery or a fall. Even surgery itself, if we go through something and if you need any procedure done, you have some downtime, but the stronger your body is overall, it's always going to mitigate the effect that procedure has on you. It'll shorten your downtime.
And not only that, like there was just a study that came out that said that people recover faster from COVID. Like there's so many benefits to living a more healthy lifestyle.
So that's absolutely a fact. I mean, there is a nexus between COVID and obesity. And obesity was certainly a comorbidity that was a game changer for
Absolutely.
COVID. I say this all the time, and from my perspective on a funeral home side, I did not see, a healthy person pass away of COVID. I just did, and people will tell you stories. Oh, I knew a guy who went to the gym and he passed away of COVID. that from my perspective, that wasn't happening.
Yeah, it wasn't happening, and that may have been like the unicorn, right? That's the
Right,
one out
right,
of,
right.
and what typically happens, which is interesting to me, is people will use that one and like use it for the whole versus the whole
That's
being
why I'm not going to
actually
work out, right?
that's why I'm not
Ever.
going to work out because it doesn't show. But we have so many other examples of people recovering faster from
Absolutely.
COVID, and we have so many more examples of people who weren't healthy that did have complications that unfortunately did pass away from COVID. That you know we have more examples of it.
So at the end of the day, I think everybody's looking for like a secret answer, but the truth is, any virus, anything that impacts you, your immune response is going to determine what happens to you. And a healthy
Absolutely.
immune system is a combination of fitness and nutrition.
Hmm.
And I don't think people put as much weight on the fitness side, but staying active, people even, you might be in shape or thin, but if you're sitting behind a desk all day and not moving, that's only one part of the equation with that nutrition side. There has to be, another side. So it makes total sense how good regimens, good lifestyle, balance of nutrition and exercise is going to help you battle anything
Yep.
that comes your way. Even people who, moving on to the nutrition side now, there's so many books out there about food and diet for a cancer patient.
Yep.
There's books for food and diet for, a patient with heart disease or any type of cardiac issue, diabetes as well. So let's talk a little bit about nutritional regimens for different illnesses that can impact us as we age. I mean, cancer sadly doesn't know age limits, but for the most part, we'll talk about an older individual. How do we eat for our health? Do you give, if, for example, if you have somebody with cardiac issues, is there a certain diet that's your go-to diet to prevent or to treat cardiac issue?
So cardiac and like diabetes stuff, it all falls under our metabolic syndromes like issues, right? So what we always try to make sure is the protein stays up. You'd always look to see how their body reacts to carbs, and then that's kind of the factor that we're going to kind of play with more.
And is that
often
because
than
of
not.
the sugar that comes through
Yep.
carbs and the sugar build? So let's even talk about carbs, because I've never believed in those like fad diets where it's all one or all nothing, because I don't think those are sustainable.
Hmm.
But is all protein no carbs what you're saying, or what are the healthy carbs and when can we bring them in?
So diets are funny because you can't pick one diet and it will work for everyone, right? So like you hear keto, you hear Atkins, you hear the South Beach, all these diets, they all fall within the same principles, which is increased protein, decreased carbs, decreased fats. It all depends on one of the things that's going to depend on where the diet goes. It's your lifestyle, right? So each individual lifestyle is going to determine, hey, am I going to be successful with this diet? Because a diet's only going to work as long as you adhere to the diet.
Right.
We could write up any diet we want
Yeah.
and say, oh, this diet works for 10 people out there, and if you don't do it, it won't work for you.
Right. No, that it's very true. It has to be commitment, but that's why you want to pick something that is sustainable.
Hmm.
So walk us through, what is the ideal menu for the day? So a typical day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. What would you tell me to do right now for the day? I know you tell me to have water here.
Yep. So there's so
I'll get to it. I promise that.
you will get to it. And God, I believe in you.
What do you have me on, like 50? What'd you say the other day?
50 ounces a day to start.
Yeah, I said I don't want to.
But
I don't want to drown myself.
But again, that's where we go back to what can you do, right? So typically, what we would aim for is 100 ounces per day for our women clients. Yep. But it all depends on what you can comfortably do. And even with that, sometimes people say it's a lot, but I'm like, you're taking a liquid somewhere, right? Now, if someone is trying to lose weight, if you're taking a ton of liquids and those liquids have calories in them, you replace those with water that has no calories. That's
Well,
one
it's
of the
very
easiest ways.
true. I mean, there are hidden things that add up. I
Mhm.
mean, and again, like sugary drinks and
And your muscles are 70% water.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to fuel the muscles the way that they need to be fueled.
No, again, it all comes down also to being mindful and thinking about your health and thinking, do I have enough water intake? And but going back to the diet question, just
Yep.
walk us through
Yep.
the ideal day, starting with breakfast.
So
Do you need to eat breakfast first of all?
you don't need to eat. I mean, it's again, it comes back down to lifestyle. If you're not someone that typically likes to eat breakfast, I wouldn't say eat breakfast. What you would always go back to is to figure out, okay, what's my calorie number, right? And how many meals do I need to have to make sure that I hit these certain benchmarks? The calorie number, my protein number are the two things that we really try to aim for.
So calories and protein.
Calories and protein. So for a woman who's 100, let's say a woman is 100 pounds, right? She would need to get 100 grams of protein a day. If she's eating 4 times a day, I would say at every meal there needs to be 25 grams of protein at every meal.
So is that chicken?
That's about
egg?
4 ounces of a meat.
All right. So going back to, let's say you do eat breakfast. So you wake up in the morning. Are we having eggs? Or are we having?
So eggs. So the our go to for protein would be eggs. A supplement shake would be something that we would go to as well, just because it comes with the nutritional value, but not with so many calories.
So you do believe in supplements like those
Absolutely.
shake drinks? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Any particular one?
Whatever you, it's always the answers will always kind of stay the same. Would be whatever your lifestyle fits. Because again, I may say have a vanilla protein. If you hate vanilla, you're probably not going to do it. If you like chocolate instead, you'll
But a
probably do
protein
chocolate.
shake, but anything with protein. What about, you hear so many things about, you think automatically fruits are so healthy for you, but fruits are loaded with sugar. Is that a go-to in the morning? Do you suggest, like, is a bowl of fruit doing anything for you? Nutrition. Some people just swear by, well, look at me, a big bowl of fruit and vegetables. Does
Absolutely.
that actually do anything, or are
So-
you better off with the egg?
Well, I would love to have five. There should be 5 servings of fruits and veggies
Daily.
daily.
Okay.
Daily, just for you to get your vitamins and minerals.
Okay. So they
That's where
do.
you
So
get
they
them
so
from.
they are doing what they're purported to do. They're giving you
Absolutely.
that. Okay.
Absolutely, and then get a ton of sunlight as well.
Yeah. Well, a little hard when it's 12
it's
degrees
harder.
outside.
It's harder in the Northeast right now, but majority of people get their vitamin D from sunlight.
And that was another game changer in COVID. It was there was very good effects of people with vitamin D intake as well. Okay, so we have our eggs, we have some fruit. Do we snack during the day? Do we have anything before lunch?
If it falls within your lifestyle.
Nuts, almonds. What are you thinking?
So where I would go with snacking would be nuts, meats, cheeses. The lighter cheeses have less fat content.
But when you say meats, I mean, are deli cold cuts okay, or are they just loaded, or are we looking to get low sodium?
You want to have more low sodium, but
Okay.
if it's something that's going to help you get to the actual number that you're looking for, because for our client base is 40 plus, right? So for us, we always go on the mindset of how can we maintain as much muscle as possible, and I think this would fall within your demographic as well, right? People who are looking to keep as much muscle fiber as possible. So sometimes it's which is the greater good that we're gonna
Right.
accomplish from what we're about to eat. The only thing that I would probably say to snacking is make sure you have a plan to snack and make sure it falls on. Make sure you know what you're gonna snack on when it's time to snack, or when
Okay.
you feel like it's about to be time to snack. Versus it being, oh, I feel hungry, I want to snack, and then you kind of go grab the easiest, quickest thing that you can find.
So instead of just grazing, just be mindful. And that goes to also being thoughtful and mindful and making a grocery shopping list
Absolutely.
as well.
And then also, like for individuals with kids or grandkids, just try to not stack on their foods very often. Every time you're giving them food, try to not.
Well, conversely
Pick
too,
on that.
but be aware of what you're giving them as well.
Absolutely be aware of what you're giving to them.
I mean, I was like the crazy mom. Like she never would have like a juice box until she went to a party, and that was like a novelty because it was like just drink water or coconut water. But it gets a little harder now that she's 10. But I think if you're watching what you're giving them, it'll limit your temptation because
Absolutely.
you don't. I'm not gonna lie. I keep my M&Ms
I
in
hear
the
all
house,
the
so.
time. I hear all the time. I only had a few of my kids' snack. I'm like, you bought that snack for yourself.
Don't take away my
Your kids
coffee
having a
M&Ms
few
right
of
now
your
because those
snacks.
are not for me. Those are mine. So, listen, I don't want to be. I want to get to heaven, but I don't want to be like the first one online in the healthy side.
Yep.
So I gotta have a little vice.
And all. I mean, so that's where I kind of say it has to fall within your lifestyle because we also do want you to enjoy your life, right? This shouldn't diet should not be so like strict that you're like, oh man, I got to do this
But
every
everything
day.
in moderation too, I think, because I think if you are going to splurge, fine, just not every day.
Just not every day.
And being aware that you did it, and then maybe committing to doing a little fitness that day. So as our time is coming to a close, how many times a week ideally should you work out, and for how long?
So we typically want 3 days a week, and if we have time to break that down, if you were to come in 3 times a week, it'll just be a total body workout 3 days a week. You want to make sure you hit each muscle group of your body at least twice a week.
So that's like a 40-minute.
About 45 minutes.
Three times 45 minutes, and this is still possible in your 70s and 80s. Obviously, the
Absolutely.
workout is not going to look the same as 30s and 40s, but it's working out nonetheless. It's serving this, and it's still possible.
A squat is a squat is a squat. A squat for a 30-year-old is gonna still be a squat for a 70-year-old. And typically, like we'll hear, "Oh, my doctor says I shouldn't squat." I'm like, "Do you stand up from your bed? Do you get off the toilet?"
Yes, I mean exactly.
Is that
like
hard? Is that hard? If it's hard, then then you need to train those movements. Is walking up the stairs hard? If those movements are hard and it's a challenge every day, then those are probably some things that you need to work on.
And I think all the more important is, especially if somebody's aging, not
Absolutely.
being in those big box gyms where no one is going to pay attention to you. A place like yours is, again, a safe, unassuming environment. Not a lot of people at any given time, and one-on-one attention so that you're watching them do the squat. Because if
Yes.
you do, the other side to this is if you do an exercise wrong, you could, do yourself
Absolutely.
a big disservice. But if somebody's watching you and keeping an eye on you and also giving you a regimen that is tailored to you, nothing bad can come from that. So I really do encourage people today to contact Dwayne. It's your website is.
It's www.fitbyjuly.com.
This is so easy to remember. You will be fit by July
You
in
will be
bathing
fit by
suit
July.
season. Although that is your name, Dwayne July,
Yes,
but
it is.
fitbyjuly.com and a phone number.
It's area code 203-900-1166.
Okay. Again, we do encourage you to call. It's never too late to start something and commit yourself to health and fitness this year. So if you dropped the resolution already, you have time to pick it back up. February 1st is tomorrow. Call Dwayne at 203-900-1166 or go on fitbyjuly.com. Thanks, Dwayne. I'll see you during the week.
Thank you so much.
My gloves on. It's an amazing thing, and I can't underscore enough the need to maintain your health. So your body is your temple. And this is Jen Graziano thanking you for taking the time to listen as we took the time to talk. Have a great day, Westchester and Greenwich. Bye-bye.